progress in lowering prescription drug costs through the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. This legislation marked a major turning point in how we approach drug pricing in the United States. Among many things, the Inflation Reduction Act enabled the federal government to negotiate the prices of prescription drugs for the first time. This change alone is projected to save taxpayers $6 billion and Medicare beneficiaries $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket cost, just from the first round of negotiations alone. The law also capped the cost of insulin at no more than $35 per month for seniors. This one provision is expected to save more than 1 million people over $700 million. It also put a stop to unchecked price hikes. Now, when drug companies raise prices faster than the rate of inflation, they're required to pay rebates back to Medicare. That's already saving some beneficiaries about $4,600 a day. Last but not least, starting this year, out-of-pocket costs for prescription drugs are now capped at $2,000 annually for Medicare beneficiaries. That provision was based on a bill that I helped advance, the Capping Drug Cost for Seniors Act, and it's delivering real financial security to millions of older Americans. But I agree we must go further. That's why last week I introduced 2 bills to extend some of these critical protections beyond Medicare and into the private health insurance market. The first, the Lower Drug Cost for Families Act, expands the Medicare drug inflation rebate program by including sales of prescription drugs to privately insured patients when calculating required rebates. All rebate payments would then be returned to Medicare, strengthening the program's long-term solvency. The second bill, the Capping Prescription Drug Cost Act, would cap out-of-pocket prescription drugs at $2,000 per year for individuals and $4,000 per year for families with private insurance. We've made progress, tremendous progress, but there's more work we can do. And while me and my colleagues remain committed to reducing costs for all families, sadly, the Trump-Vance administration appears focused on destabilizing both the economy and the federal workforce. As we've heard, the FDA now has laid off 20% of its workforce. Dr. Kelsiam, is it accurate to say that biosimilar manufacturers need a stable marketplace and regulatory environment in order to confidently make long-term investments?
Biosimilar manufacturers need an effective, well-resourced, an expert, and an independent regulatory environment, as well as a stable environment, in order to make investments in their products and to bring those products to patients.
And how might the erosion of institutional knowledge at the Food and Drug Administration impact the approval process for future biosimilars?
Well, I think it's going to fundamentally make that process slower, because there are fewer people there to be able to support the work of the reviewers that are needed, and it's going to make it more complicated, because if there are not sufficient people there and with sufficient expertise to develop the guidances and have, drug companies do have many meetings with the FDA along the way of the development. This is not just a one-time event where a drug company meets the FDA. And if people aren't available and don't have the expertise to bring to those meetings and to give guidance to companies as they're developing their products, that will make it much. That will make there will be a lot more ambivalence around companies investing in developing those products.
Thank you. So over 15 years ago, congressional Democrats fundamentally reshaped the U.S. healthcare system for the better with the passage of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. The ACA not only expanded health coverage to millions of Americans, but it also established a regulatory framework for the FDA to review and approve biosimilars. So again, Dr. Kelsiam, can you explain how the proposed cuts to Medicaid and changes to the ACA marketplace might impact the biosimilars market?
Well, I think that fundamentally we are going to see an enormous number of people stop having insurance, either through Medicaid or through the support that they need to buy insurance on the ACA exchanges. And as a result, more and more people will not have insurance, and they will not be able to afford the biosimilars that they need. We've been talking all day about how much cheaper biosimilars are than biologic drugs, but you have to remember the cost of biologic drugs is tens of thousands of dollars a year. So even if a biosimilar is 40% cheaper, it's still tens of thousands of dollars a year. People still need insurance, fundamental good insurance, in order to pay for the drugs that they need in our current market. And if we take that away from them, they are just not going to be able to take their medications, and they are going to have bad outcomes from it.
Thank you. I know my time has expired. We have to protect Medicaid and the tax credit so that we make the Affordable Care Act, continue to make it affordable for the people in Nevada and all across this country. I yield back.